Salutations, my name is Stephen King. I'm the founder and owner of The Rain Shop, and welcome to the Store Run series where we highlight vendors that are in the store. I'm excited today to talk about the store brand that's in here today, Heritage Hill. My brother, my best friend, my point guard. I've known him for 100 years, so it feels so natural to have him on the second installment of the Store Run series. So Brandon, tell the people who you are.
Man, you want to know something funny? I don't ever think I heard you say Brandon before.
Ever. Probably in, what, 99?
Man, it's been a long time since you said Brandon.
That's right.
First and foremost, I want to tell everybody I am so proud of this brother, man. He's been talking about like a retail shop and giving back to the community and being able to do everything that he said he was going to do. And it's happening, like to be sitting in it, to see people like have a vision for something and the idea in their mind, and then to be able to bring it and let it manifest. So I'm thankful for you, brother.
Appreciate you.
Iron certainly does sharpen iron.
That's right.
And it's a testament. So I just wanted to give you your flowers.
I appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. I need those flowers. Appreciate it.
It's hard work, y'all. Like, it's entrepreneur stuff is no joke. It's hard work. So I see him work hard, every single day. But me, what's up with me? So as you said, we've been friends since
99. So you're talking about since more than 20 years.
Long time, ninth grade. And I grew up with the Withrow High School. I grew up in Avondale, and actually my company started in Avondale, in the basement. We were a small custom print shop, and we were just doing, actually I was just tinkering, man. I was just trying to come up with ideas, trying to come up with something, and we started making Making My Ancestor Proud shirts. Like, this was our first item that we made, and it caught fire. Like, people were like, yo, I need one, how I get one? And then I started making custom merchandise for CPS. We did like custom jerseys, and those went crazy. And then a lot of the HBCUs started asking me like, hey, can we get stuff for like our school? So we started making vintage color block sweatshirts, and I had this dream or vision to be able to create like the back end supply chain for all the historically black colleges and universities. A lot of HBCU vendors don't get an opportunity to be able to create for their school because it's hard to get a license. So to me, it would make sense that as black entrepreneurs, black vendors, we would create for black colleges. So we started with a vision like, let's create a whole supply chain and back end to be able to do that. And that's been our journey for maybe the last 3 to 4 years. Now, we actually just moved over from Arlington Heights here in Cincinnati to a space in Roseline. And we want to also do like more in-person activations. We got some heavy-duty equipment. We want to put together some workforce development training. We want to be able to, help members of my community, man. We want to really, take note from the Rain Shop on at least how to build community, how to be able to be like a pillar within the community. So we're going to transition from being an online company to more of a retail company or an omni-channel hybrid company these next 2 years.
Dope. And what's crazy about that is I've been telling Hoff for longer than I even had the Rain Shop to, man, you got to get your retail shop because his brand, it speaks to our culture. It speaks to the people. So I've been telling him, man, you got to get you a shop. So actually, Hoff was a huge inspiration for the Rain Shop. So the Rain Shop wouldn't be here without my staple vendor. Like, Hoff is my staple vendor. Heritage Hill is a top seller in my store. I promote it. I love it. I wear it. My kids wear it. My family wear it. So we absolutely love Heritage Hill. And like Hoff said, iron sharpens iron. And I appreciate him for even giving me the chance to put his brand in my store. To me, that's huge. But I want to move on and ask you, what exactly is Heritage Hill? What exactly is these cultural shirts you have? What is this? I'm about making my ancestors proud. What exactly does that mean? What is that?
So my mother actually always said when we were growing up, you want to dress the way that you feel. So for her, the way that she dresses and her style is really inspired by at least her emotions or her mood and her way of expression through art. So for me, I wanted to be able to create garments that allow people to be proud of like our heritage and proud of where we come from. So the slogan, I'm about making my ancestors proud, is exactly that, right? To be able to honor and pay homage to all those who trailblazed before us. That a lot of opportunities that we have right now today, we wouldn't have it if there wasn't a great deal of sacrifice, there wasn't a great deal of fight, there wasn't a great deal of just people pushing forward for what they believed in. So I cherish that. That's really sacred and special to me. So our focus was on that. Like we wanted to focus on like the pillars of the culture, which of course is ancestral pride, like our black colleges, some of the black fraternities, sororities that exist, and then a lot of black power and black history. So if you go to our site, you'll see like, hey, we're about celebrating those that came before us and just celebrating the heritage, which is why it's called Heritage Hill.
Right. And I love the name. I love the colors. I love what it stands for. So when did you actually start Heritage Hill? When did it start? I mean, I know, but for the people, let them know what processes you went through to even create the brand. Like, I know it takes time to think about it, and then you got to create it. But what processes? What business plan did you have? What failures did you have to get to where you are now? Because now you're a juggernaut. He's a juggernaut of a brand, and he makes tons of cash. He's rich. so he's really humble about it, but he makes tons of cash, and he pushes me. So I'm trying to be on his level, and by him doing what he does, it helps me stay on point, and we bounce ideas off each other. He's my business mentor because I ask him everything. I know he's well traveled, he's well spoken, he's smart, he's handsome. So all these things, So all these things, are things that that I gravitate to. So that's just what I want to know. What processes you took to actually make this thing real?
I'm about to update my dating app. All of that, speaking truth to power.
Absolutely,
right now,
bro.
so
Absolutely.
Thank you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and you know what? This just a quick segue.
Yeah.
I think we as black men, we gotta do that more out.
Be
able to just share like your feelings like that for each other, because it's a good thing, and I think that a lot of times we don't do that enough. So man, thank you. Like that, I really appreciate that.
Absolutely.
It's a journey, man. 2019 is when we officially like kicked off, but prior to that, like I had a whole journey in history and like trying to start companies, ideas. Like I'm an idea guy. Like I got tons of ideas. I got tons of brands that exist. I probably got like 50 domains that I bought. I probably put up 50 websites and keep tinkering. And I think that Heritage Hill really, really incorporated like my why. And it was the one thing that touched on like all the things that were important to me. Like it's got an element of community service. It's got an element of creativity. It's got an element of art. It incorporates the culture. I can involve like friends and family. So it allows these different tentacles that are all important for me and that represent me. So 2019, we were in the basement and we got started in failures. It's been a journey. It's been a lot of failures. Like the biggest failure, we took like a $300,000 L. So like the numbers don't be small. Like everybody want a big business till it gets big, and then more money, more problems, more stress, more responsibility. So we did a launch one time and all the orders were wrong and they got sent back. Like I had to credit stuff. I had to reach out and just say, hey, we made a lot of mistakes. But we've also had a lot of triumphs just from learning from some of these past mistakes. So if there was any kind of advice for like somebody who's like, man, I'm messing up or I'm failing, it's like, yo, that's really a part of just the journey in business and probably with most things too.
Absolutely right. And I want to touch on the story. Hoff, I was talking about Cleveland. We went to Cleveland.
Oh yeah.
And we had Hoff had a different brand to begin with, and we were excited. We were pumped. We rented a car. We had a house and everything. And we went to a sneaker convention, and it was a complete failure. And we laugh about it now. we laugh about it. But he came back fully stocked with what he took with him. And I think that humbled him. And it also put a seed in him to say, you know what? I'm going to shift. I'm going to pivot. And I'm going to go towards what my heart is telling me. And his heart told him to create this. And he hasn't looked back since. Now he's swimming in cash like Scrooge McDuck.
Wow, yo.
But he's doing exactly what his heart told him to. So entrepreneurs, please follow and understand that Hoff didn't just began on the top. You know, he took those steps, he failed, he learned, and he took those as nuggets to say, you know what, I'm going to take that. That's going to be what builds me when days are long, when days are not easy. He has those memories of failure that turn to triumph. So for that, I'm proud of you for that, man. I really am, man.
Yeah, thank you, man.
I really am. So how do you create? Like, how do you come up with ideas? You have a lot of designs. Mm-hmm. How do you come up with your designs? What inspires you to make certain type of shirts and pictures that you use and the wording? What exactly inspires you to make those?
Man, that's a good question. So part of it is not being afraid to take some risks, mm-hmm. and not being afraid to say, like, this is out of my own mind, my creation, and being vulnerable enough to, like, put something out there to allow people to give you feedback, mm-hmm. and to say, oh, this is good, this is bad, this is what I would change, this is what I wouldn't change. And also to be like a volume creator, like, mm-hmm. to just be in the lab, to be able to refine your art, to be able to connect ideas, to be able to ask questions. Like, I spend a lot of time thinking, mm-hmm. like, just going through, all right, how does this connect? What would this be cool? What's trending right now? What are people liking? So being on top of at least what's happening in the culture and asking questions, mm-hmm. and then taking some risks. Like, a lot of stuff came out like nobody bought. Like, a lot of stuff that you put out, people be like, man, that's that's trash, right? Like, and then every once in a while you'll strike gold on something. So this is like a couple iterations from other things that happen to just be born out of just dialogue and my experiences. And I think that part of that is not being afraid to really take risk in your art and creativity.
That's dope. And what I love about that, what he said is he uses things around him to inspire him. You know, he's not afraid to push the envelope. So that's what inspires me about Brandon, because he not only pushes the envelope, but he takes it to another level. So I always tell him how great he is, how good the brand is. He's so humble about it. I say, man, you got it. Like, this is it. So I've done shoots in his clothing. His clothing is all over the store. I promote it. Anything that I need for business, Brendan is there. Anything that I need as far as an idea, if I have a question, I lean on him. So I think what needs to be taken from this is use your resources around you. And the people that are around you that are doing good things, you want to use them as your fuel for your dreams. So Hoff always tells me, man, you work too much. You work too much. But when you have goals, you don't see it as work. You see it as a love, a passion. So I'm going to stop working soon. I plan to retire early. But what exactly is next for you? So I know you're working on the location in Roseline, and that's getting put together. But what's your next thing?
So I think what I feel most passionate about is like teaching and helping other people, mm-hmm. right? Like, I get really excited for people when they accomplish their goals, mm-hmm. when people set their mind to do something, and then they actually do it.
Right.
Like, I get really excited for that. Right. So taking like everything that I've learned and being able to like synthesize that into something that can help people directly, I think that's probably something that's in my horizon really soon. Outside of like, you know, selling merchandise. But in the world of like selling merchandise, I think we're gonna start expanding into different product lanes. Okay. I think we want to do like leather goods. We want to do like African art. We want to do like premium home decor. We also, since we have this space, we want to do like a workforce development is still at the top of the list, since we have like embroidery machines, we have print machines, so being able to help people learn about a trade. I think it's an easy opportunity to partner with like Cincinnati Public Schools and saying, hey, you can send your students here to be able to learn about embroidery machine equipment, to be able to learn about sewing, to be able to learn about e-commerce. So part of that is I self-taught like myself most of the stuff that I know, like any things in design, like Adobe Illustrator, Adobe Photoshop, like all these different softwares. Like now with the internet, you can teach yourself a lot of different things. I think a lot of young folks just need to know like how to use the tools. Like, how do I start? How do I like get my hands on these things and start creating? And I think that's probably the next path forward for me, is being able to really give back in everything that I learned.
Love it. Absolutely love it. And you left out one thing.
Yeah.
Hoff's also writing a book.
Yeah, I'm trying.
He writing a book. So
I want to write a book.
He haven't said that, but I'm very proud. I've been trying to write a book for like 12 years, and it's hard.
It's really
it's hard. No matter how smart you are, you can see Hoff is very smart. No matter how smart you are, you still have to have the plot. You have to have the characters. You have to have the full development of the story. You got to have your lane, your genre. It's so much that goes into writing a quality book. Anybody can write a book. There's a million ebooks out there that are trash. But I want to give a quality piece of literature that's going to help somebody or build somebody up. So I don't want just a book. Right. I don't want to just be just an author. I want to actually inspire. I want to teach. I want to motivate. I want to innovate. All these things happen through my own experiences. So I want to give that to somebody else. So give them a little piece of what your book is about.
Yeah. So the book is called CEO Serenity, and it's really about. I tell this brother all the time about balance and being able to find balance in your life, and especially as men. And we're told as men that a lot of time our value as men is seen through our ability to earn, or our ability to work, or our ability to be able to be a provider, right? But understanding what like the different elements of providing is outside of just monetary. So I've been on a journey for maybe the last 5 or 6 years of trying to just get more emotionally healthy, more emotionally centered, and balancing being a high achiever with also having like better emotional, mental, and physical health. So CEO Serenity is really based on like finding that balance in my journey as an entrepreneur, my journey as a founder, and how I've tried to get like a lot more emotionally healthy in that process. And burnout is real. Like you could burn yourself out and you could chase your dreams, especially if you're like a type A, high achieving person where you like, I gotta get it.
Yeah.
I gotta get it. And I've had that, and I've, worn myself down, and, it's had an effect on a lot of different aspects of my life. So what I'm really saying is like, let's find some balance, and here's some ways to do it. So I cover like meditation, I cover like yoga, I cover like different emotional practices that I've adopted, and just to teaching people. And I went to therapy, I got a therapist, and I've learned how to just better communicate my emotions. My emotional vocabulary has gotten wider, and it's improved my relationships, it improves my friendships, makes me a better father, makes me a better entrepreneur, leader, CEO, whatever it is. So being able to expose, especially as like black men who, I remember growing up and just playing sports and, you being told like, don't toughen up, suck it up.
Don't cry.
Like, don't cry.
Yeah.
And understanding that, being like emotionally vulnerable or emotionally available like isn't a sign of weakness. It's actually a real sign of power. So I'm really like in that space, being more spiritually centered, deconstructing that. Like, so it's a whole robust, things that really go into my whole personhood.
Absolutely. Man. How about being speechless? I'll be in a trance. But Hoff, he's one of these guys that lead by demonstration. So that's the biggest thing for me, just watching him, seeing him move, and seeing him motivate me and motivate multiple businesses and people. He's a father. We both went to Withrow, graduated in 2002. So we're Tigers, we're local, and we're people that, that are fathers that are trying to do something positive with our children, with our businesses, and show people and kids and everybody in between that you can achieve anything that you want. My next question, Hoff, is, so the next step for you is teaching. You're going to be an author here soon. What are you doing as far as children? I know you have a passion for children. What is your next step as far as helping your younger customer base? What are you going to do to connect with them more?
Yeah, so part of it I think that is, I just actually left, like I had a meeting with a mentor, and she was expressing to me like, man, there's a real opportunity to have like some element of trade school, being able to help at least high school, middle school start to understand like what it takes to be in the workforce or be an entrepreneur, or to learn like some of the skills that existed in schools back in the 70s, 80s, and they talk about how there was home economics, how there was sewing, how there was financial literacy. I think a big thing now is digital literacy for younger students, and being able to, how do I take all of the information that exists on the internet, and how do I now take that and mobilize it into something useful? I think that's a big thing, right? There's so much information out
Yeah.
there, and there's so much to be able to uncover and learn. How do you add some structure to that? And I think that's something that I've learned how to do, and I think that would be a big opportunity for me, especially with younger.
Yeah, because what I've learned just by having the shop is just going out and speaking in different events and at the high school. Kids want to make shirts.
Yeah.
Kids want to be designers. I want to make a shirt. I want to, you know about kids that are elementary all the way up to high school. They want to be designers, want to own their own company. They see Rockaware, Sean John. They see black owned locally, and they want to be that. So you kind of teaching them that.
Yeah.
I think that's a huge piece that is missing. You know,
Yeah,
you don't have a lot of local
man.
people that are making clothes. Hint, hint. That are getting into the schools and actually teaching it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you got a big brand, you're making a lot of money, and you got a lot of customers, and you're well known in the city. What are you doing for the youth?
Right.
You know, all you're doing is padding your pocket and increasing your bank account. But what are you doing for those kids that are buying your clothes? What are you doing for the local community? CPS needs these black-owned brands to step up and and do something that's, you know, for the kids, because even though I'm little, I'm small, I don't really have a lot as far as like notoriety yet, but I'm getting there. But my first order of duty when I got here at North College Hill was to get ingrained in the high school, get ingrained in the school. So I met with the superintendent, I met with all the principals.
Yep.
I can't come to somebody's house and not introduce myself.
Right.
And I can't come to somebody's house and just open up shop and then say, I'm here, but I'm gonna make all my money and I'm gonna take it back to no. I have a responsibility to North College Hill to give back to them. So that was number one. The school's number one. The city council was number two. I've already done that. Number three was all the businesses that are around me. I've done that. So I'm doing everything that I set out to do. And I think that's important because Hoff is doing exactly what we've always thought about, just helping out, giving back, teaching, inspiring. So I'm very proud of you, man, and I absolutely love you, bro.
Thank you, bro.
Absolutely love you.
I love you too, man.
Appreciate that, man. So my next thing and last thing is, where can we find you at? What's your IG, your Facebook?
Yep.
What's your store address, phone number? Where can we find Mr. Brandon Hoff at?
Yep. So we actually just moved over to Roseline, 7361. Actually get 76 and 31 mixed up. 7361 Brookcrest Drive over in Roseline. It's in the Roseline Business Plaza. HeritageHill.co. So we didn't talk about it, but Heritage Hill is also a cooperative. And that just means that if you can join the cooperative, think of it similarly as like a credit union. So anybody who works for Heritage Hill has a pathway to ownership. You can become an owner within the company. Talk about like dignified labor and being able to be, you know, financially competent and being able to be, you know, have some at least some respect in what you do for a living, right? We really believe in that. And Heritage Hill CO is the Instagram. Facebook is I'm about making my ancestors proud. And the website, I don't know if I mentioned that, but it's heritagehill.co, not .com, .co, like co-op. So that's it. My personal Instagram is Hoff Hogan. You want to check me on personal Instagram. You want to get like some meditative practices, right? I'll be on there talking about, you know, all kind of different, you know, things that come to my mind, just raw thoughts that come to my mind. So if you ever want to just ideate or talk about, you know, I guess business, food, or football, we can do that too.
That's what's up. Man. So I'm signing off. This is called the Store Run Series, and I'm so proud of him. I'm so proud of all your accomplishments, man. Keep on going.
Thank you, bro.
Store Run Series, Stephen King, Brandon Hoff, Heritage Hill. Signing off, y'all.